Do you believe that a brutal concentration camp during World War II could be transformed into a luxurious five-star resort? It sounds like something from a dystopian novel, doesn't it? A place where the echoes of suffering are drowned out by the clinking of champagne glasses. Yet, this is the Balkans, a land of crazy paradoxes, where the line between beauty and horror is so blurred it often disappears entirely. I've come here to explore these places, to try and understand how a region can carry the weight of such a dark past while presenting a face of such staggering beauty to the world. It's a journey into the heart of a contradiction. You are entering the Balkans, where breathtaking beauty is often built on the most horrifying tragedies. From islands that once quarantined the dying to fortresses that imprisoned national heroes, every stunning vista seems to have a story to tell. A ghost lurking just beneath the surface. It's a place that forces you to confront uncomfortable questions about memory, history, and the human capacity to build life, and even luxury, on top of death. The sun might be shining, but there's a definite chill in the air when you know where to look. It's starting to heat up here. My journey begins on an island that embodies this paradox more than any other. A place that was once a synonym for Italian fascist brutality, now rebranded as an exclusive getaway. It's a strange and unsettling transformation that I want to unpack. How do the locals feel about it? Do the tourists know the ground they're sunbathing on was once soaked in blood and tears? I'm here to walk these grounds, to talk to people, and to try and get a sense of what it feels like when history is not just remembered, but actively repackaged and sold. My first stop is Mamula, a tiny, fortified island off the coast of Montenegro. From a distance, it looks idyllic, a perfectly preserved 19th century fortress sitting in the azure waters of the Adriatic. It's the kind of place you see on postcards. But as the boat gets closer, the stone walls seem to loom larger, more imposing. This isn't just a historical curiosity. During World War II, under Mussolini's forces, this beautiful island was converted into a concentration camp. Over 2,000 people were imprisoned here, and more than 100 died from starvation and torture. I'm trying to reconcile the image of the brochure with the grim reality of its past. I step off the boat and onto the newly paved stone pathways of a five-star resort. There are infinity pools where prison yards used to be, and suites with sea views carved out of former cells. The developers say they are preserving the history, but it feels more like a careful curation, a sanitization. I walk through a corridor, the air cool and smelling faintly of fresh paint and expensive perfume. I try to imagine the desperation, the fear that must have permeated these very stones. It's a disorienting experience, seeing people in designer swimwear, relaxing in a place where so many suffered. It raises a question that feels almost unanswerable. Is this a form of healing or a profound act of forgetting? I spoke to a local fisherman whose grandfather was imprisoned here. He looks out at the island with a complicated expression. He tells me, for us, it was always the island of death. Now, it's a place for the rich. He doesn't seem angry, more resigned, as if this is just another layer of history being plastered over the last. He says the ghosts are still there. You just have to listen carefully beneath the lounge music and the gentle lapping of the waves in the infinity pool. Standing here in this strange marriage of opulence and atrocity, I think he might be right. The silence between the sounds is deafening. From Montenegro, I travel south to the coast of Crete, to another island with a past that isolates it from the world. This is Spinalonga. For the first half of the 20th century, this was one of Europe's last active leper colonies, a place of exile. If you were diagnosed with leprosy, you were sent here to die, severed from your family and everything you knew. The boat ride over is short, but for those who made the journey a century ago, it was a one-way trip. As I approach, the Venetian fortress walls and the abandoned stone houses create an atmosphere that is both beautiful and deeply melancholic. It's a ghost town floating on a turquoise sea. Walking through the deserted streets, I feel a profound sense of stillness. Unlike Mamula, there's no attempt to cover up the past here. The buildings are left as they were, the small crumbling homes, the hospital, the church. You can almost feel the presence of the community that was forced to exist here. They were outcasts, but they weren't just victims. They built a life for themselves, falling in love, having children, creating a society against all odds. They even had their own shops and cafes. I find myself peering into a small, dark room that was once a home, imagining the life lived within these four walls, a life defined by both disease and an incredible will to survive. The place feels haunted, but not in a frightening way. It's a haunting of resilience. The air is thick with the stories of people who, despite being condemned by the outside world, found a way to maintain their humanity. There's a sign near the entrance gate, which was known as Dante's Gate, because those who entered had no hope of return. Standing here now as a tourist free to come and go, the privilege is palpable. Spinalonga isn't a story of horror, but a testament to the endurance of the human spirit. It's a quiet, dignified monument to those who were forgotten by the world, but refused to forget themselves. I've come inland now, to Albania, to a place that feels like it's been carved from a single giant rock, Gjirokastër. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a stunning Ottoman-era town dominated by an immense castle that looms over everything. The views from up here are breathtaking, stretching across the Drino Valley. But like so many beautiful places in the Balkans, this castle has a dual identity. For centuries, it was a bastion of power, but during the paranoid, brutal regime of Enver Hoxha, its cavernous halls were transformed into a political prison. The beauty of the stone hides a much colder, more recent story. I descend into the bowels of the castle, into the section that served as the prison. The temperature drops immediately. The air is damp and heavy. The cells are small, dark, and oppressive. Scrawled graffiti from former prisoners is still visible on the walls. Faint cries for help, names, dates, a desperate attempt to leave a mark. It's one thing to hear about political oppression, but it's another entirely to stand in the very space where it was enacted. You can feel the despair clinging to the stone, a residue of the thousands of lives that were broken here for the crime of thinking differently. The contrast with the sun-drenched town below is jarring. Up on the castle's main terrace, there's another bizarre relic of that era, a captured United States Air Force T-33 training jet. The Hoxha regime claimed it was a spy plane, displaying it as a trophy of their vigilance against Western imperialism. It sits here now, a strange silent monument to Cold War paranoia, slowly rusting under the Albanian sun. The castle is a museum of layered fears, medieval fears of invasion, and 20th century fears of dissent and foreign influence. It's a place where history isn't neatly filed away. It's all jumbled together, a chilling reminder that the dungeons of the past are sometimes more recent than we think. My journey takes me to Greece, to the magnificent Palamidi fortress, perched high above the charming town of Nafplio. To reach it, you have to climb a winding staircase of supposedly 999 steps. I decided to walk it. With each step, the view of the Argolic Gulf becomes more spectacular. It's an exhausting but exhilarating climb. The fortress itself is a masterpiece of Venetian engineering, a complex of 8 bastions that seem to grow organically from the cliffside. It feels unconquerable, a symbol of strength and defiance. Yet, its most famous story is not one of military victory, but of profound betrayal. This fortress, a symbol of Greek independence, became the prison for the very hero who helped achieve it, Theodoros Kolokotronis. After the War of Independence, political infighting led to Kolokotronis, the commander-in-chief, being charged with treason and imprisoned right here. I found his cell. It's a dark, claustrophobic, stone chamber. Standing inside, I feel a chilling sense of injustice. to fight for your nation's freedom, to be hailed as a hero, and then to be locked away by your own people in the very fortress you helped secure. It's a story of Shakespearean tragedy. The Cold Stone seems to echo with the bitterness of that betrayal. The paradox of Palamidi is overwhelming. It's a place built to protect against external enemies, but its darkest chapter involves turning inward against its own. Tourists now pose for photos against the stunning backdrop, many unaware that they are standing on a stage of national drama and personal tragedy. The 999 steps feel different on the way down. On the way up, they were a challenge, a path to a beautiful view. On the way down, having stood in Kolokotronis' cell, they feel like a descent from idealism into the messy, often cruel reality of politics. The beauty of the place is forever tainted by the story held within its walls. I'm now in North Macedonia, on the shores of the impossibly clear Lake Ohrid. Before me is a reconstruction of a prehistoric settlement, a village built on stilts over the water. It's called the Bay of Bones, a name that already hints at a darker story beneath the tranquil surface. At first glance, it looks almost romantic. A cluster of charming thatched roof huts perched over the turquoise lake, connected by wooden walkways. It seems like an idyllic way to live, at one with nature. But the reality of why these people chose to live on the water is anything but romantic. It was an act of desperation. Archaeologists believe this settlement, dating back to around 1200 BC, was a defensive measure. Life on land was too dangerous. Constant threats from wild animals and rival tribes forced these people to build their homes over the lake's depths. The water was their fortress, their moat. The name, Bay of Bones, comes from the vast number of animal bones and pottery fragments discovered on the lakebed by divers, the remnants of their daily lives. But you can't help but also think of the human bones that must lie here too, from accidents, from illnesses, from a life lived precariously over the water. As I walk along the wooden planks, the reconstructed huts feel fragile. A strong storm, a fire, an attack. It could all be gone in an instant. I'm trying to imagine raising a family here. The constant fear of a child falling into the water. The vulnerability of it all. It's a powerful reminder that what we see as picturesque can be born from pure survival instinct. The stunning beauty of Lake Ohrid was, for these prehistoric people, a backdrop to a life of perpetual anxiety. They weren't living on the water for the view, they were living on it to stay alive. The calm lake hides a story of ancient fear. I've arrived in Pristina, the capital of Kosovo, to see one of the most talked about and controversial buildings in the world, the National Library of Kosovo. It doesn't look like any library I've ever seen. It's a formidable structure, a collection of cubes topped with 99 white domes, all wrapped in a cage-like metal lattice. It's been called many things, from a masterpiece of brutalist architecture to one of the ugliest buildings in the world. Some say the domes are inspired by the traditional Albanian plis hat, while the metal mesh is meant to evoke Islamic and Byzantine design. But for many, it looks like a prison. The architect, a Croatian named Andrija Mutnjaković, intended the design to be a synthesis of cultures, a symbol of knowledge, protected but accessible. However, in the context of Kosovo's troubled history, particularly during the era of Serbian oppression, the building took on a different meaning. For many Albanians, the cage-like facade felt like a perfect metaphor for how their culture and knowledge were being suppressed, imprisoned. It's a structure that doesn't just house books, it provokes a fierce debate about identity, history, and art. It forces you to have an opinion. I walk inside, and the feeling is just as strange. Natural light filters through the domes, creating an almost surreal atmosphere in the reading rooms. It's surprisingly peaceful. Yet, you can't escape the feeling of being inside a cage, looking out at the world through a metal grid. Is this a sanctuary protecting knowledge or a fortress imprisoning it? The library stands as a powerful, if divisive, symbol of Kosovo's resilience. It survived the war, its books saved from destruction, Whether you find it beautiful or monstrous, you can't deny its presence. It's a concrete question mark in the middle of the city, asking everyone who sees it to think about what it means to protect a culture. I am in Dubrovnik, Croatia, the pearl of the Adriatic. It's almost impossibly beautiful. The gleaming limestone streets, the terracotta roofs, the sparkling sea. It's a fairy tale city. And its most famous feature is its magnificent city walls. I'm walking along the top of them now, a 2-kilometer circuit that offers one breathtaking view after another. Tourists from all over the world are here, many of them fans of Game of Thrones, which was famously filmed here. The city feels like a fantasy, a place built for romance and spectacle. But that's a beautiful lie. These walls were not built for tourists or film crews. They were built for survival. For centuries, Dubrovnik was a wealthy maritime republic, a rival to Venice, constantly under threat from powerful empires like the Ottomans and the Venetians themselves. These walls, up to 6 meters thick in places, were a statement of defiance and a very practical defense mechanism. Every beautiful turret, every charming parapet, was designed with one purpose in mind: to keep invaders out and to rain down death upon anyone who tried to breach them. The romance we see today is a modern invention projected onto a structure of pure, hard-nosed military pragmatism. The more recent history is even more sobering. In the early 1990s, during the breakup of Yugoslavia, these ancient walls once again served their purpose. The city was besieged and shelled for months. Standing here, looking at the pristine, restored rooftops, it's hard to imagine the explosions, the fires, the fear. But if you look closely, you can see the newer, brighter tiles on some roofs, a patchwork map of the destruction. The beauty of Dubrovnik isn't just a facade, it's a testament to the city's refusal to be destroyed. It was built for survival, and it has survived. But the beauty we admire is a direct result of a history steeped in violence and the constant threat of annihilation. My final stop is on the banks of the Danube, where Serbia meets Romania. And here, rising dramatically from the water's edge, is Golubac Fortress. It is, without a doubt, one of the most intimidating and spectacular fortresses I have ever seen. 10 towers are connected by crenellated walls that snake their way from a high cliff right down into the river itself. It looks like it was designed to guard the very gates of hell. And in a way, it was. This strategic point, known as the Iron Gates Gorge, was the gateway between the Christian Kingdom of Hungary and the Muslim Ottoman Empire for centuries. This fortress is a collage of conflict. It's been held by Serbs, Hungarians, Turks, and Austrians. Each power added to it, modified it, fought, and died for it. You can see the different styles of architecture, the layers of history built one on top of the other. As I explore its restored walkways, the wind whips through the gorge, and you can almost hear the clash of swords and the roar of cannons. Unlike some of the other places I've visited, there's no attempt to soften the history here. Golubac doesn't pretend to be anything other than what it is: a war machine made of stone. The lowest tower, known as the Hat Tower, sits half submerged in the Danube, a testament to a time before the river was dammed and its level rose. It now looks like a lone, drowning sentinel. The whole fortress has an atmosphere of perpetual conflict, as if the battles never really ended. It's a stark, powerful reminder that for much of its history, this part of the world was a violent, contested frontier. Golubac stands as a silent, grim guardian, its stones saturated with centuries of bloodshed. It's a fittingly dramatic end to my journey through a region where beauty and brutality are forever intertwined. My journey through the Balkans is over, and I'm left with a feeling that's hard to put into words. It's a mix of awe at the staggering beauty and a deep unease at the dark histories that lie just beneath the surface. From a luxury resort on the site of a concentration camp to a fairy tale city built for war, This is a land of profound and often disturbing contradictions. It seems that in the Balkans you can't have the beauty without the tragedy. The two are woven together so tightly that to separate them would be to misunderstand the place entirely. The scars are part of the landscape. These places have forced me to think about memory. What do we choose to remember? What do we pave over? And what do we repackage for tourists? There are no easy answers. The resilience of the human spirit is on full display here, in the leper colony that became a community, in the city that rebuilt itself from the ashes. But there's also a sense that the ghosts of the past are never far away. They linger in the cold stone of a prison cell and in the silence of an abandoned village. They are a constant, quiet presence. Ultimately, the Balkans don't offer simple stories. It's not just a beautiful holiday destination, nor is it merely a museum of past horrors. It's both. It's a living, breathing region that is still grappling with its identity, still trying to reconcile its beautiful present with its brutal past. To travel here is to be confronted with the complexities of history and human nature itself. It's beautiful, it's horrifying, and it's unforgettable. And perhaps that is the truest reflection of this incredible, complicated corner of the world.